Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, April 30th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. This is going to be the last Express Briefing, but we still have more great San Antonio-based podcasts such as Puro Politics, In Depth, and Spurs Insider Podcast over at expressnews.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thunderstorms that pounded the San Antonio area Wednesday night are likely to linger into the weekend, though with less intensity. In San Antonio today, you can expect a high of 74 degrees with more showers. With all the rain in the forecast, you should check out our interactive flood risk map. It allows you to enter a property address or zoom in and drag the map to see the percentage of properties in a given area that are at risk of flooding in the next 30 years. Also on our website, our 52 Weeks of Food Truck series returns today with a look at a trailer that gives peanut butter and jelly sandwiches an adult flavor upgrade. Head over to our Taste Teams page to check out that review. And now let's move on to our top stories for the day. A judge granted Martin Phipps, a prominent San Antonio lawyer and businessman, a temporary protective order against TJ Mays, his former law partner, escalating a high-profile feud that began in January. 51-year-old Phipps alleges that Mays threatened him and his children during a months-long scorched earth media campaign against him and his family, his business partners, his employees, and several other local public officials in San Antonio. The public meltdown between the two men has startled observers. Mays served on numerous civic boards, hosted KLRN's On the Record, and is the former chief of staff to Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolff. Elizabeth Zavala has the latest details on the two protective orders filed against Mays in the past month. Developer Michael Whibrack became a pioneer adapting old, neglected buildings for apartments in parts of San Antonio that lacked affordable housing. Through his 210 development group, Whibrack converted a century-old peanut factory on South Frio Street on the near west side into about 100 apartment units. On the south side, 210 Development turned some old military barracks and a dining facility at Brook City Base into the 280-unit Aviator Apartments. It must now seem so long ago to Whibrack, who's unemployed, bankrupt, and possibly headed to federal prison. Patrick Danner explains how it all happened in his latest article. The growl of a Ducati motorcycle tore through Southtown on a recent Sunday morning as Chad Bello, long burly beard over his red flannel shirt and tattoos down his left arm, pulled up behind the former Southtown Community Church to resume his calling as a pastor. Like Paul Bunyan with a Bible for an axe, Bello takes his share of swings at pastor stereotypes. He's a Bible school dropout who ran a few motorcycle shops. He's a former Army interrogator who grilled his share of sources in Iraq. He's a married father of 4 who looks more like a bouncer than a preacher's kid. One of my favorite things for people to say is, "Wait, you're a pastor?" said 39-year-old Bello, founder and lead pastor of the aptly named church, The Arsenal. Rene Guzman tells his story over at expressnews.com. Columnist Gilbert Garcia writes, quote, "The worst thing a politician can do to an opponent is ignore them. That's what Ron Nirenberg has done to Greg Brockhouse. San Antonio's mayor has tried to kill Brockhouse's campaign with disinterest and neutralize it with neglect. 2 years ago, while seeking a second term, Nirenberg took a very different approach. In that race, Nirenberg's campaign launched an anti-Brockhouse website, notfitformayor.com, devoted to tearing apart his challenger's character or lack thereof. Read Gilbert Garcia's full column for a look at why the 2021 race is so unlike 2019's and why the mayor has employed the municipal equivalent of a rose garden strategy. Hail, high winds, and record rainfall battered the San Antonio region Wednesday night, damaging homes and businesses, toppling utility poles, and triggering dozens of water rescues by firefighters. More rough weather is expected Friday and Saturday nights. Forecast called for scattered storms with the potential for hail and heavy rainfall along the I-35 corridor and east of it. The small community of Danis, located 52 miles west of San Antonio in Medina County, took a heavy blow from Wednesday night's storm. We have more photos of damage over at expressnews.com. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside of your Express News subscription. Despite stiff opposition from many in law enforcement, the Texas Senate took a step Thursday towards passing a bill that would allow people to carry handguns without a permit. What would be the largest expansion yet of the state's historically modest medical marijuana program passed in the House on Thursday, adding several new qualifying conditions and raising the legal THC limit by tenfold. The Texas Department of Public Safety does not have enough evidence to support criminal charges against a lobbyist accused of drugging a Capitol staffer, according to the agency and the Travis County District Attorney. Carrie Watson Hildebrand, who is running for an Alamo Heights ISD board seat, has touted her work experience high up in Wyoming's education bureaucracy, but people who were there now disagree about the job title she claims she held. The coronavirus continues to spread in Bexar County, with local officials on Thursday reporting more than 300 new cases for the second day in a row. Since the Easter holiday, the number of COVID-19 patients in local hospitals has risen by 34%. A 56-hour closure that had been scheduled for this weekend on Interstate 10 in Boerne will not be happening because of the weather. With Frost Bank nearing completion of its Houston expansion, the largest regional bank based in San Antonio is now preparing to expand in Dallas. Frost Bank expects to add 25 locations in Dallas over a 30-month period starting early next year. Dr. Tom Tredici, known for helping design the gold visor Apollo astronauts used to protect their eyes while walking on the moon, died Wednesday in San Antonio at the age of 98. U.S. travelers will soon be able to vacation again on cruise ships, but with two catches. They will need to show they've been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and they must travel out of the country before boarding. Senator Ted Cruz came under fire again after he appeared to be dozing off during President Biden's address Wednesday night, and of course the Twitterverse had plenty to say about it. Biden's flip-flop on the number of refugees who could enter the country has been head-smacking, writes the Express News editorial board. The backlash has been swift, impassioned, and just. You can read their latest article over at expressnews.com. Because of the constraints of modern print deadlines, sports columnist Mike Finger had to hand out his grades for the first round of the NFL draft on Thursday afternoon before the draft actually began. Some of Fernando Luis Ribas Barrain's clearest memories of early childhood involve him waiting at the top of the stairs for his dad to come home from work. He also has a clear memory of the day he learned his father wouldn't be coming home ever again. His father, Major Fernando Luis Ribas Dominici, was a U.S. Air Force pilot. He and Captain Paul F. Florence were killed during Operation El Dorado Canyon, a 1986 air raid on Libya. The incident and the love story between Ribas Barrain's mom and dad are recounted in Ribas Dominici, a new opera being developed by composer Nathan Felix. A 25-minute segment of the piece will be streamed this afternoon on Texas Public Radio. Deborah Martin has more on this story in her latest article. This week, Mike Sutter brings us 5 places for great hot dogs in San Antonio. The punk rock walk-up stand Rocker Dogs leads the charge, with Bandit Barbecue, The Dogfather, JK Chicago Hot Dog, and The Shack all making the list. It's a big weekend for fans of Disney, Barbie, and YouTube star Desi Banks. We have a roundup of things to do in San Antonio this weekend over on our website. Grab your margaritas and celebrate Cinco de Mayo with films exploring Mexican culture like Coco, Frida, Like Water for Chocolate, Spanglish, and El Mariachi. Before setting up on a spring game without fans at the program's practice facility, UTSA explored a multitude of options that would allow spectators while meeting COVID-19 protocols, according to Athletic Director Lisa Campos. With Derek White out for the season, the Spurs hope to fill the void with a lottery pick. 20-year-old rookie Devin Vassell said he's ready for his close-up. The Spurs take on the Celtics in Boston tonight. And that's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Friday, April 30th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to check out other great San Antonio podcasts like In Depth, Spurs Insider, and Puro Politics over on our website. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.